Hello, this is Brighton TV and this is the match preview for Brighton vs Wolves and a great win vs Leeds. How we played was brilliant. First 15 minutes we were dominant, we were creating chances, and Welbeck, he got fouled inside the box and Gross stepped up and scored the penalty to make it 1-0, and that's huge, and that made it so when Leeds, they ended up growing into the game after that happened. But they weren't able to create any clear-cut chances. Our defence was good enough to limit them. They had the ball, but they weren't doing anything with it. They were just trying to cross it in. But Burn especially, I was impressed with him. He was constantly heading the ball out from set pieces, and he was being huge in us not conceding anything to Leeds. And before half-time, we had a few big chances. Trossard especially comes to mind. We pressed high up the pitch. We won the ball inside the Leeds box. Trossard, he ended up getting a shot off, and it was an open goal, but he ended up missing it. And that would have made it 2-0. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. And then in the second half, Leeds, they started being more attacking-wise. They got more set pieces, but they weren't able to do much with the ball. Burn, Dunk, White, Webster, all of them were heading it outside of the box, clearing it, making it so Leeds couldn't have any chances. Brilliant defensive performance from them players. And we had so many chances throughout the rest of the second half, and it was looking like a game where we'd end up drawing, where we'd end up conceding a silly goal after having so many chances. But luckily Welbeck made it so that didn't happen. He scored a brilliant goal. He had a touch inside the box which completely took it away from the Leeds players, made it so he had a lot of space, and he ended up scoring into the bottom corner to go and kill off the game. Brilliant finish and brilliant play from Welbeck to make it 2-0, and that's huge in us trying to go and stay in the Premier League. When you look at our points and goal difference compared to Fulham, we're now 10 points ahead of Fulham. 4 games to go with a far superior goal difference. It looks like we are staying up in the Premier League. And Wolves, they drew 1-1 with West Brom in their last game. And when we last played Wolves, it was an entertaining 3-3 draw. We ended up coming back from 3-1 down. And Traore, he was a Wolves player who I thought very dangerous, and he still is dangerous now. He's brilliant winger. His ability to go and get the ball from deep inside his box, to go and get it to the other team's half, and he's just really strong, and it makes it harder for fullbacks and wingbacks to go and mark him, because he's got the ability to dribble past them, and he's got the ability to go outstrength them to win the ball in high areas. So that's where you have to be very careful against Traore. And Wolves, they will play a more defensive style. They'll try and go on the counter-attack, and they'll try and limit how many chances we do have. So we do have to keep that in mind. Make sure we're careful against them, since we know how some of their players, Traore, who's one of them, but they do have other players who are very good on the counter-attack, so we need to be careful of them. And the lineup for this game, I think it should be a 3-4-1-2, and in goal it should be Sanchez with a back three of Webster, Dunk and White. They had brilliant games versus Leeds. There's no reason why they should be dropped. And the wing backs of this game, I think it should be Burn and Veltman. And Veltman, we know he's been great at right wing back, and I think Burn should play left wing back. And I know he struggled versus Traore when we played them earlier in the season, but that's when Burn was playing fullback. And when we play a four-man defence, we don't play as well. But Burn playing as a wing-back, he seems to be more solid. And I think Burn having support from Webster, both of them being able to two-man Traore. And the 2 midfielders for this game, it should be Bissouma and Gross. And both of them had brilliant games versus Leeds. And Lallana is still unfortunately injured, so that's why there shouldn't be any reason why either of them should be dropped. And in the 10 role, it should be Trossard. He had a good game versus Leeds. His ability to go and shift to the right-hand side when needed was big in us trying to go and press them high up in the pitch. Hopefully he can replicate that against Wolves. And the 2 strikers, it should be Welbeck and Maupay. And Welbeck had a brilliant game versus Leeds. And Maupay, his all-round play and his pressing ability helped us win the ball high up the pitch. Hopefully he can replicate that versus Wolves. And my score predictions for this game, I think it's going to be 0-0. And when we play Wolves at Molineux, we rarely see an entertaining game. We see a lot of 0-0, so that's why I think it will be 0-0 when we play Wolves. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Brighton TV and follow us on Instagram.